Dave, we in, man. Reminisce.
Yep. Summertime vibes. How you doing, brother? You're back.
Man, back in the city, man. Back in my domain. Feels good to be back, you know. But yeah, man, so much to say about like just traveling and coming back to the city and being in this concrete jungle. You know, I went from like the wilderness of nature and abundance to just really becoming present to like, I don't know, like I don't want to sound like it's a downer or anything like that, but I'm just really present to just like the impact of our environment and just like the grim feeling and the city life and the hustle and bustle and the lack of patience and things of that nature, you know. But other than that, like, you know, I'm good. I feel recharged. I feel refreshed. I feel blessed and highly favored. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, we're back. You know, like I'm just glad that we're able to keep things going while I was away. And now I'm back in my domain, and we here, man. I feel good. How you doing, bro?
No doubt. Hey, yo, it's so good to hear all that. Yo, I was really happy that you got to travel out there. I got fam out in Alberta, and yo, you know, it's just good to see that, you know, your journeys were safe, where you get to go and return safely, just like Sankofa. You know, you gotta go right back. So yes, yo, you know, I'm good. I had a pretty good week. Actually, I had a root canal on Friday and had my tooth worked on, but it's healing. It's getting better. My pain is minimizing, and
you look better. You look like, you know, you're back to yourself. You know what I mean? So
yeah, actually, things have been good. Very briefly, I met a young Black woman who wants to do some porn, which is a very rare thing. So that's another good thing.
Okay, man. Getting his acting involved, man. You know,
you know, I do acting very much so. I make short love movies, and yeah. So summer is good. Yeah, there's a few other things that I've been digging around with, but things are kind of chill and quiet. And lastly, I don't know if I mentioned it, but I'll be moving to a new apartment come the fall. So that's like one of the great things that I'm really happy about. And
okay. And like, how do you feel about that? I mean, like, I feel like there's like a lot of like energy, man, transitional energy movements around, and like what does that mean for you? Like, I mean, because you've been at your space for as long as I known you. I feel like so to move into a new space, like what does that mean for you?
Yeah, it's gonna be great. To me, it's there's a few layers to it on a few numerous levels. One, I just wanted a bit of a refresh because I feel like the pandemic is very much a reset button for the world. So in my house, I'm like, yo, I wouldn't mind like a refresh of my system. I've had this set up for a while. I've been in this apartment for 5 years, and I was next door. I was next door for 5 years, so I've been in this building for 10 years. And,
that's right.
And before that, when I was a child, I literally moved 11 times but by the time I was in grade 9, I moved every single year. So like sometimes different cities and always a different school. So
right.
When I was older, I was like, yo, I want to live in one place, in one neighborhood. I literally just talked to a woman today when I was walking down the street. She was beautiful, and I approached her. But I also sincerely, I just said, if you live on this block, I want to know who you are, just because I want to know people in this neighborhood. I want that, like, yo,
that connection, that
Biggie on the stoop, like, yo, I know everybody around here.
Right.
So I've been building that, and I'm saying all this to say, like, I'm moving up to, I don't want to say the number, but I don't want to put my own shit on blast. But the number of the apartment that I'm moving to is my lucky number.
Okay.
And I'm actually going to be living next door to somebody that you and I both know. I won't put them on blast. But
okay. Like, are you still like downtown? Like you moving to Scarborough?
No, I'm still in this building.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, I'm moving to a bigger apartment in this same building. So it's a blessing. It's just going to be expanding and being able to organize my stuff more. I want to finally dig up into those cassettes when I move, so I can get those things for DJ X. I'm like, I remember I promised that for him, so I'm gonna do that.
All right.
And just really organize my stuff. Finally, reorganize all my CDs, reorganize all my cassettes, all my magazines, all my music, and just rebuild my studio so we can be more productive in the fall.
Well, yo, that sounds great, man. I feel like it's a great time to do it, and you know, like that's gonna bring some new energy. Like our space is so important, you know, like just even simply moving things around and how it just brings new energy and new life and inspiration, man. So big up to you on that. You know, like I see you got quite a bit of stuff to be packing and whatnot. So
I got work to do. It's a blessing, and like you know, I'm gonna do a bit of that. I'm not gonna quote like Marie Kondo, but like I'm gonna like grab something and be like, do I need this? Does it give me joy? Do I have a memory? Right. So I'm gonna purge some stuff. I'll sell it. Yeah, you know, Kijiji, buns, whatever.
No doubt.
But yeah, you know, I'm gonna still dig up some gems and bring them to the show.
Well, that's peace, man. That's what's up, man. Cool, man. So big up to the new energy and the new vibes, man.
Yeah. So that's coming in October and forward. So.
Okay.
So this is my last summer here, and I'm gonna make it a good one.
Make it a good one, man. That's what it is, man. So like, you know, in the hip hop news, you know, there's some things, or not even just hip hop news, but just in community news, there's been like a lot of things that have been brought to our attention. You know, I know everybody's talking about, you know, like the soccer game and whatnot with like England and we have like Italy and some of like the racist, you know, like remarks and just like the violence too. You know, that has been like really like displayed like at all costs. It's wild. It's wild to me, but it's not surprising, you know, and it's just really like evidence of just like, you know, like I always say, man, like when people show you who they are, like believe them. You know what I mean? And this is like, you know, I see, and it's sad to say, but certain people, like this is their authentic self. This is what happens when they get in a certain, you know, emotional space and then they respond to it in a certain way. Like this is just what it is. I mean, it's cultural at this point. You know, we can't even say it's just like a one-off, like an individual who's just having a bad day. Like this is cultural.
Wish it was, but it's just basically almost every single time we hear like of a black player in some of these countries. If they win, it's a celebration and the people get respect and money and praise in the media. But if they lose, it's such slander. And it's not even, the slander goes way beyond the game. It starts talking about their character, their culture, their humanity, and just getting violent and ignorant. It's like, keep it on the field. Keep it about sports. Okay, the black guy, those brothers, they missed the penalty kicks. Shit happens. Jordan doesn't sink every fucking buzzer beater he shot. Like that's just the game. It's a sport. It's like you leave it on the field. It's cool. You don't have violent threats to a black player. Like, it wouldn't be right if you did it to a white player, and if you were white or black. Like that's base ignorance. Just like you're saying, like that's happened time and time again. And it's like, you should be beyond this, but you're not.
It's like if these guys won, then they're British, you know what I mean? But when they lose, man, you black, or you're the N-word right now, you know what I mean? And
it's like you wouldn't have got to the final without the guys. So like, what's up with that?
True indeed, man. You know, so you know, and I've been watching a lot of news clips, and they're like, well, you know, people will be held accountable and whatnot, like these are like acts of like terrorism, man. Like let's just call it what it is. Like these, like there needs to be some kind of like, you know, like serious like repercussions. You know, that to me, like that's the only way that people are going to like, you know, be in check and to really check themselves before they wreck themselves and you know, act in a way that isn't civil. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Like because they know that it's just gonna be a slap on the wrist and then it's like regular, you know, goes right back to normal. But if they know that there's some actual like criminal charges and you can be detained and things of that nature, I think people would be thinking life. People will be moving a little differently, right? So you know, I hope that you know, the authorities or whoever is in charge like really you know, have certain systems in place, like change policies so that these things never happen again, because it is disgusting. But like I said, at the same time, like when people show you who they are, like this is the real deal. That's them being their authentic self, unfortunately, you know, and this is like the history that it's been built on, you know, like I just to kind of, you know, segue into another topic, you know, about Jamaica now. Like Jamaica is talking about reparations, you know, from Britain. and whatnot, you know, for slavery and them building their wealth off of like, you know, sugarcane and other, you know, forced industries and whatnot. So it's really interesting timing, you know, like all these different things that are coming together. There is another image that I actually want to show like this while we're talking about like history and whatnot. Have you seen, and shout out to Symbolic, man. Symbolic put me onto this. The Jamaican Governor General's like, you know, the badge, like, you know, the whatever you call it, the
insignia or the crest.
The insignia, yes. Have you seen what that looks like? Let me pull this up real quick, man. Hold on, man.
I don't know the one beside the out of.
I'm gonna show you something, man. I'm gonna show you something real quick, yo.
I don't know. Maybe it's a new one.
So this is an article. So this is you know, the governor. This is like an old article, by the way. This is from like last year. But Jamaica's Governor General, you know, said that he's concerned about racist implications of his British insignia. So it says Governor General Sir Patrick Allen has expressed concern about one of the ceremonial medals in his office, the British insignia, the Order of St. Michael's and St. George. The medal, which is worn by the head of state, depicts a white man said to be a triumphant archangel with his foot on the neck of a black man who is deemed as Satan. So look at this image here. This is it's kind of like distorted, but as you can see, this is supposed to be the archangel, and then a dark man, you know, a fallen angel, if you will, you know, which has dark skin. And I've seen another one which actually has like flames of fire. You know what I mean? Like flames of fire. And I guess this became, you know, recognized as of like last year during the times of like George Floyd and whatnot, because as you can see, you got the, you know, foot on the neck kind of idea and whatnot. So this is what has been used as like the Governor General's like representation, and this is throughout the whole like Commonwealth. So these symbols of oppression, these symbols of racism, you know, and we all know, like, you know, like the power in that, you know, like there's reasons why this is, and it's incredible. Yeah, go ahead.
It's infinitely deep. I'm so sorry. No, you're so right. This needs to be removed immediately. This is so wrong. Every sash and symbol and every coat and statue and piece of paper and every little piece of symbolic and institutional racism is what psychologically and subliminally and then socially and physically is the reinforcement for the physical and violent and economic enslavement of that. Like, you see these symbols, and then when you see it in real life, they're like, hey, we're just doing our job. This is just, we are righteously ordained to do this. Look at the symbols that we worship in. And
this is supposed to be like a high ranking, like, you know, symbol and representation. So I'm not sure how long this has existed. You know, probably existed for like forever, and it's just now that people are talking about it and bringing it up. So when I see all these different like elements, you know, like the reparations, you know, like the treatment of these soccer players, like these imagery, it's like, and this is like recent history. This is happening right now.
Right, you know, July 2021. This isn't 1991. This isn't 1967. This is, you know, like
it's wild. It's wild. So I just want to kind of, you know, just like put that out there, you know, on people's consciousness. And yeah, it is disgusting, but you know, sometimes, you know, like truth can be stranger than fiction, you know, and you know, what I realized, so many things have been hidden from us, you know. It's almost like, yo, like are we going to wake up from this dream though? But this is reality. Like we are waking up, and it's not like abstract, like, you know, theory and just like things that are intangible. These are like very tangible, like, you know, examples, you know, that you cannot deny. It's like, well, maybe I can misinterpret it. Like maybe there's something. No. Like, no. Very clear what you're trying to describe.
There is hardcore, concrete evidence of being robbed and stolen trillions of dollars, centuries of power and wealth and self-determination and control from. We have, I mean, the median household difference between Black and white Americans is still 1 to 17. Like, Black people still have 1/17 of the average white person in America, much less the motherfucking Jeff Bezos, fucking, you know, flying up into space. You'd be like, yo, we're billionaires, and like, we're billionaires. Like again, by the time you go out for lunch, like we earned another $1 billion.
Right.
You know, black dudes, people like, yo, ghettos getting gentrified, and so shit is just like, you know, the rich get richer, poor get poorer, and it just as time goes forward, that's not changing.
Well,
but
and
we can.
Indeed, and we just got to keep these conversations going. And I just love how everything that we discuss connects back to like Sankofa, because sometimes, you know, we got to go back to, you know, fetch what we may have forgotten, you know, and a lot of this history is coming back up, you know, speaking of reparations and whatnot, like we're discussing earlier about like our last names, you know, my last name is Donaldson, which is a Scottish last name, a European last name. And, you know, like we got these names because we were branded, you know, like this is, you know, like families that have like owned, you know, my ancestors, the people that came before me. And, you know, like I see these last names as receipts, you know what I mean? Like I do understand like the idea of, you know, rebranding our names and really separating from these like colonial attachments and whatnot, which is why hip hop is so important. That's why we have like our AKAs. That's why Logik, right? That's why you mind bender. So we do take back our power in many ways, and we like, you know, reinvent ourselves and come back to our essence, our authentic beings. But I also see our last names as receipts. So when it comes to the case of like reparations and whatnot, it's like, okay, well, you tell us how we got these names. You know what I mean? It's like, you tell us. We can literally trace back the lineage. I mean, we can't trace back our own, but we can trace back the colonial lineage.
Absolutely. And that's the problem, that we can't trace back our lineage, because they can trace back their lineage. And and like the royal family literally is existing to this day, where they're like, they can trace back their lineage hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years. They know literally grandfathers, great grandfathers, all that connected, because nobody came and ripped their family apart and dragged them to another continent and then burned their history and destroyed all connection to their past. So I'm the same way. My last name is Stewart, and I have 3 African names, and then Stewart as the same receipt as Jamaican slave master owners from my family as well. And we are all doing the same thing, and reclaiming our names and our histories and digging up our past that has been taken away from us. I love the topic of reparations, and there's nothing I want to see more in my life than that happen. Literally, I could talk so much about it, but I love the idea that there will never be true justice on North American soil until reparations happens. People are like, why is there so much racial tension in America? And like, literally the answer to Rodney King's question, can't we all just get along? No, we will not get along until reparations happens. All these it's like a black president is not enough. Obama was great. You had him for 8 years, and he was literally one of the greatest presidents of all time, even though he's problematic on some other levels. We know he's not perfect. There could be 50 black presidents. There could be a black mayor in every city. There could be Oprah. You could do like all this stuff. Until reparations happens, the healing of what our people has done will never be complete.
And also too, like just like the consciousness too, because it doesn't really matter. Like, you know, like white supremacy can still show up in blackface. You know what I mean? So we're talking about like consciousness and how do we elevate, you know, like beyond that. You know, so it's you know, it's you know, we're living in some really, really interesting times, man, and we just got to keep these conversations going, keep this energy flowing.
Yes,
and yeah, man, we're definitely going to deliver it, man.
We will, and I thank you so much for just being out there like me, just trying to collect the truth and share it. And I mean, so to shift gears a little bit, just to you know, mad love to Righteous and to Sandy, all the people listening and watching. Just to shift gears a little bit, there's a little music stuff going on, and what's up? Coming up real soon is the 25th anniversary of the AT Aliens album.
You're right. Whoa.
Yeah. It's like in the next few weeks. I don't know, or right by the fall, I think. So there's gonna be a re-release and like a reflection upon AT Aliens, and I think they said they're gonna release all the instrumentals. So.
Oh, please, I need that. I mean, you know, to be honest, like I had the instrumentals from time, because I was one of those guys, like, you know, in the days of Napster, you know, like I was the instrumental guy. Like any song, I was like, I'm going to find it because someone's going to upload that. And I had those instrumentals before they even came out. Same way with the Chronic 2001. when that album came out, I got the instrumentals maybe like the next day. Man, we were ciphering forever with that.
Ciphering on them, yeah, for real.
But ATLians, man, like that was a very special album for me. Like I spent a lot of time just like soaking that in, and I had the cassette, and I played that like forever, like nonstop. Like I have a really deep personal connection with that. Like all those songs, man, just had that southern like like lingo and just like the energy and the vibe, man. That like you can feel like the lineage, through their mannerisms and just how they operate. The whole album is really beautifully put together. What I mean? Like everything is really, really incredible, and one of my favorite albums of all time. And that's why I was so blessed when we got to see them perform at OVO Fest.
Yeah,
when Outkast performed, when Big Boy and Andre, they're both of them together. I was like, I had a moment where I was just like, okay, like I'm good. Like I've seen all the concerts I need to see. Like anybody else is cool, but this was like my ultimate. I've been wanting to see them live since the 90s. So when I got to see that, I was like, I'm good. I'm good.
That was your first time seeing him?
Well, I've seen Big Boy. Like he's come down.
Yeah, but together.
But together and them like performing, like those classic gems, it was really special for me, So big up that, man. I always had love for Atlanta. I had the privilege of going out to Atlanta. We filmed a few different Stolen from Africa projects out there, and being in that energy, man, I was just so I have a special place for Atlanta. A lot of energy, man. Like the most like successful Black like business owners and millionaires, like I feel like exist in Atlanta, and it was just a crazy energy. So I always got love for the ATL, man. Shout out them with their flip flops and socks. You know what I'm saying? Like they started that.
yes, true that.
Flip flops and socks, man.
Yeah,
sweatpants.
yeah. I briefly am just gonna say I'm a little weird with Outkast. I very much love ATLians, the album. I love all the albums, but I'm a little weird, and I kind of liked Stankonia a little more than some of the other ones. But album, ATLians, was super special for me at the time because in 1996 I just moved out for the first time.
Okay,
so that was one of the albums that in our house, when like first house I ever lived out away from my parents, that was on high rotation. So like, yeah, it's just Outkast.
It's crazy because it's bringing back bare memories, man. Because around that time, and this is great for reminiscing as well, was a time where like I was like kind of like kicked out of my house. You know what I mean? I was like 14, 15, and you know what I mean, doing what young people do, and yada yada yada. But like that's like I said, like that was my album. That album like really kept me, and also made me feel like I want to be an MC. Like there was a few other albums like Tupac and a few other like Wu-Tang and whatnot, but ATLians just like the poetry in it, so a lot of like my style is like like poetry and just like metaphors and whatnot, and just almost like you're just having a conversation, and the way how they brought it, like you really felt like like they really brought you into their world. Like everything was just like so creative, like their language, like their style of dress, and just like even like the artwork, like they made like a comic book, like in the artwork, you know what I mean? So
the CD covers, like the CD, the disc.
Exactly. Like like I said, I had the cassette, so I had to like unravel it, and I was just like, like I really dove into their world, So I'm definitely a highly influential, man. So shout out Big Boy, shout out Andre 3000, wherever they are, living their life, man. And they've definitely left a legacy. Matter of fact, the whole Dungeon family, like all of them.
All the
for
real, like
all of them.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, Slim Karakahun. Actually, I just read 2 days ago that Andre 3000 has popped up in Seattle or Portland, checking out a lot of open mic ciphers there.
He does that though. He does that. I've seen there's been a lot of encounters of him just like wandering the streets. Like a regular dude, like grabbing a bagel from like the the store. I love it though. I love it.
It's so beautiful. Yeah. So it was just great to hear. Yeah, I think it was like literally 2 days ago. They said he's out in Portland, just like checking out open mic. So. But there's two other quick little music things I wanted to bring up. One quick shout out to Freeway, because apparently Freeway has just gone under kidney dialysis or something. He had a bad kidney and he's getting kidney treatment, something like that.
Wow.
So, but yeah, and hip hop and life and just being black in the world and just being a human in the modern age, like it's rough. So some of our heroes have been going through it, and sometimes they don't want to talk about it too much. But I hear Freeway didn't really want to like talk about it too much. But
to be real, like I feel like we need to, like in our community, like health, especially because like hip hop is such a young genre, and now we're seeing like some of our founders and people who've been in it from the golden era and whatnot are getting older, and like having these conversations are very important, because I feel like when I came into hip hop, it was all about like Phillies and Century Sams and OE and like Saint Ides and all these things, which like in moderation it's fine though, but like we see the party, but we don't see like the flip side. We don't see the hangovers. Like we don't see when men are in the hospital. Like I think we need to like have more of those conversations, to be very real with you.
That's what King's Disease was about. I 1,000,000% agree with you, and that's 100% what King's Disease was about. That's not one of my favorite Nas albums at all, but that's one of my favorite ideas. And Nas said that when you're a king, what is the downside? What is the dark side of having all the power? What is the dark side of having all your whims and your desires and your cravings?
All your
vices just met. Like, like we've seen dudes die, and like it wasn't, it's just simple to say like Biggie and Tupac. Like those stories are way more complicated. But like, I mean, Tupac died at a time where he had a lot of power, and it was a little reckless with it. But like, he wasn't like living an unhealthy lifestyle. A tragic example of it, and I mean this in no disrespect, but it was just the unfortunate imbalance was Big Pun, where Big Pun was like it was like a blessing and a curse. He was musically successful, and he deserved to go multi-platinum because he's an amazing MC. But unfortunately, he didn't have the self-control or like ability to have things around him like cut down his eating habit, and he was like 600-700 pounds when he died, and like he died from his over excessive eating. And unfortunately, like what we were just saying, you just gotta everything in balance. So which is something that very few people in hip hop have really preached. It's just bigger, more, flashier, the most, if you, number one or nothing, like whatever, which is like, nah, like, every crew is made of the big guy, the little guy, people in the middle, and everyone matters. Like the quote unquote littlest, tiniest dude, like has value. So
that's it, man. So yeah, man. So that's exactly what it is, and we're gonna keep the energy going, man. But more on like a positive, note. And I'm speaking of Nas, I got this one clip right here, that actually is about the new hip hop museum, the hip hop museum, breaking of that. So I'm gonna play a little clip of that, man, which is super important. I'm glad to see that we're gonna be having our own space, and it's gonna be in the Bronx, and we got to find some time to like go out there in person. I think it's a must for all of us, man. Reminisce Show, like we got to find some ways out there. And let me just get this plugged in.
Brother
here, man. So let's see what's going on, man. Here we go.
That's my big brother. That's my uncle. That's my daddy.
Here in the Mecca of pop, the Bronx.
With Grammy Award-winning rapper Nas on the mic, a massive construction site looks more like a concert featuring a lineup of hip-hop royalty.
Back up from the Bronx, back up from the Bronx, back up from the Bronx, right?
Fat Joe, Grandmaster Flash, and LL Cool J, to name a few, traded their microphones for shuttles to break ground.
Oh, that's dope.
Construction of the new Universal Hip Hop Museum is now officially underway. It's part of a $349 million development called Bronx Point along the Harlem River waterfront at 150th Street.
This whole area will be transformed into both a housing and entertainment complex, complete with cultural programming and park spaces.
We have over 540 units of permanently affordable housing. We have an early childhood space. And we also have a beautiful public park in Esplanade, over 2 acres of public space.
The museum was supposed to open in 2023 to coincide with the 50th anniversary of hip-hop's birth, which is said to have started at a party on Sedgwick Avenue in early 1973. But the pandemic
was 74
year. Still, developers say the new buildings, like hip-hop music, will rise.
We took the scraps that were left behind and created a whole industry, culture, and genre. It just shows you that we can take something that people thought was nothing and turn it into something really special.
Decades from now, the museum and buildings will still be here, shifting the infrastructure of the Bronx like hip-hop did to the whole music industry. In the South Bronx, Matt Average, CBS 2 News.
That is amazing.
Right?
Oh my God.
I love how they spoke about like the housing units and just like, you know, having like this space, you know, that's just like beautiful for them. So yeah, man, that's incredible. Definitely feeling
That's
that
real.
vibe.
It kind of looked like Queensbridge projects, kind of like, or like Marcy projects in a way, like, but not like projects with the brown, just like it looked clean, like an apartment building, but like it looked like hip hop projects.
It is. But, you know, and like what I like about it is like the arts programs and things that they're doing. So like stuff that people can really like, you know, get that knowledge of self and, you know, have that elements of hip hop, you know. So I definitely appreciate that. And it's going to be exciting to see when that is actually, you know, on its way. And hopefully that things, you know, are maintained. And, you know, I'm just excited to see the museum and like what kind of artifacts and things you're going to have in there, you know, original concert ticket stubs, like flyers, like, you know, like Run DMC
jackets and exactly. Run DMC can go from from the Fresh Fest tour '85.
Yes.
Fat shoelaces and shit.
Yeah, man. Like, no, we need all of that, man. But speaking about again of reminiscing, man, like, why don't you speak to the Summer of Soul, yo?
Oh yeah, yo, that's another thing, because I had something else that I was gonna bring up, but I
have a clip lined up though, but I don't know if you want to introduce it.
Okay, you have the clip. Great, yeah, because peace to Questlove for doing this, because there was back in the day in the 60s, there was a black music festival in New York, and it was fantastic and legendary and magnificent, and unfortunately it just stayed secret for mad years. They just didn't want to bring out the documentary that existed on this, but Questlove dug it up. The footage is gold, and right now Summer of Soul is out.
All right, man. We're gonna play a little. I'm gonna play a bit of it. This is like a 2-minute clip. I'm gonna play the first like just half of it, and you know, just I want people when they watch this, man, like taking like the colors, taking the energy, like not just the music, but just like try to like situate yourself in like that vibration. You know, the vibration is incredible, man. So let's peep this real quick, man.
This shit is magic. Unbelievable how it was only coming out now.
Donaldson. I'm a musician and a music lover, and we are here to celebrate and talk of my directorial debut, Summer of Soul.
Nobody ever heard of the Harlem Culture Festival. Nobody would believe it happened.
50,000 beautiful people here in Mount March Park.
I gotta admit, I'd never heard of the Harlem Cultural Festival. My producers, Robert Fidlund, Joseph Patel, and David Dennerstein, they showed me that footage. This was real. So
it was like nothing I'd ever felt before in my life. The concert took my life into color, but then the festival was forgotten.
There were over 47 reels of footage. Miraculously, it sat in Hal Tolson's basement for 50 years. We had to restore it. So that took 5 months alone for them to just go frame by frame by frame, dusting it, making sure that it didn't snap or anything. I gotta say, we got that footage. It was damn near perfect.
A day after the death of Dr. Martin Luther King, in more than 100 cities, violence broke out.
After the assassination of Martin Luther King, many in the inner city, from Detroit, Philadelphia to Atlanta, like places were just erupting in anger, righteous anger.
It's too late now. We are ready to start. We're going to finish it up.
Not wanting to repeat what happened the summer of '68, the city allowed for this festival to happen just to have something sort of constructive and like, okay, made the whole summer without one broken storefront.
It was a crazy, crazy, crazy period. We needed something to really reach out and touch us. We needed that music.
Only a half hour of that festival garnered interest from an upstate New York syndication channel. They showed the festival at 1 o'clock in the morning. That's all that became of it. What's happening now, we're realizing, instead of always trying to pander and please and readjust our lives to make certain people feel safe, let's please ourselves first.
That concert was like a rose coming through cement. It was a good thing for Harlem.
At the end of the day, I think a lot of the news just came to be because us discovering, Black is beautiful, and hearing it in a moment of love like that might have been too threatening to anyone that didn't understand the context that it was coming from.
Okay.
Amazing.
Man, I'm excited for that, man. Like the energy, man, like just like Black and beautiful, man. Just like the vibrant colors and the faces. Like I love watching concert footage, like the attendees. Sometimes it's not even about just like the artists. It's just like the whole collective, like the collective experience and the joy and the glee that you see on people's faces just from being there, of seeing like hope, of seeing empowerment. Like, they had the babies there, man. Everybody was there, and it's crazy that this footage was forgotten for like 50 years and then rediscovered and unearthed, and brought back to life. It's incredible.
God bless every hand God bless the place that kept the footage safe, and peace to the people who just restored it, because the life in that is so, I felt transported there. I'm like,
yes,
holy shit, this is so, I feel like I'm right there, and your brain is just processing. I have never seen, I've seen similar stuff to this, but I have not seen this. Not this one. I don't know what this one is. What the hell is this event in Black history? Holy shit.
Yes.
Damn, this is powerful. Look how far back that energy goes. This is amazing.
And it seemed like it was a blessed day. Like the vibrations were high.
Magical moment. Look like Black Woodstock. Oh my God. How the hell do we not know about this? Look how beautiful this is. This is a real moment in history. And it's just like, I mean, there's only, people take for granted how many times and whatever these things happen. It's like, yo, that never happened again. They only showed it once at 1 a.m.
And it was like a clip. It wasn't even like a full like broadcast. It was just like a little like, just like we did our job. And then that was it. And it makes me think like what other footage and stuff that has been, documented that's just like forgotten about. Like I'm pretty sure there's probably some like blues fest that we never even seen, like Muddy Waters and like Chuck Berry and them, and like all the kinds of exclusive footage that's somewhere around, So I'm gonna put that energy out, man, that we can like, let this vibration, live and really give a glimpse of like what the energy was like at those particular times, right? Because when I see that footage, I see nothing but unity. I see nothing but connection. I see nothing but like that spiritual essence, like amongst our people, like the vibration of all that, man. As far as I can see, man, it's just nothing but Black people. You know what I'm saying? And just incredible. So I'm so grateful that they found this and are able to share and let it, get like a second wind, and hopefully some of the directors or whoever was involved, is around, and maybe, like they can give some context to a lot of things. Cause I know organizing that is not an easy thing, getting all that, like the permits and all this and that. Like I can imagine the kinds of hoops and hurdles they had to jump through, in order to make that happen. But that looked blessed, man. The footage looks incredible. So
yeah, man, you're right, and Righteous is right. That is some great ass footage right there. It's immaculate. It looks better than some stuff that comes out today. Not only in the quality of it and the treatment and care given to the footage, but to the energy that it gives off, and just to like of what it's trying to do. Because damn, you can see, you just feel proud looking at that. You're like, proud, those people, like, yo, those people are there to respect the music and the musicians.
Yeah.
To say no fuckery. It doesn't look like there was violence there. It looked like, yo, it happened right after Martin Luther King died. Like, what? this is vital. This is a healing moment.
It's healing. That's you nailed it, brother. It's a healing moment, because you also have to consider that time, you know, like you're not really seeing much like black representation like on TV like that in that kind of capacity. So you really had to be in the field. You really had to be there. You know, you're not getting those images in magazines and whatnot. So that's going to be in Harlem. People probably drove from who knows where just to be there.
No doubt,
you know what I mean?
No
just to
doubt.
get that piece of energy, man. It's church, like you mentioned, us coming to these spaces. You know, it's church. It's a religious experience. It's healing. It's replenishing, and it's very, very necessary. And like I said, like after 50 years later, you know, like I'm feeling the healing energy from it. You know,
exactly. It's impossible not to.
It's activating some DNA within me, man. It's like I feel like I was there. You know, it feels familiar to me, right? So
it feels right, no doubt. Like it feels like getting a missing piece of our soul to see that, to be like, oh damn, like there's events like that happen. We need this more. Like every time we hear about these things, like, yo, that happened. How is this kept away from us? This is vital for us to know. And I don't know the whole story, but like they didn't show it in that clip. But Stevie Wonder performed there, and Aretha Franklin performed there.
Nina Simone too.
It's like, oh my God! Every single Stevie Wonder performance. Stevie Wonder was the first musician I ever seen that made me cry at a concert. Like Stevie Wonder is my holy grail, and I'm like, yo, I want to know everything that he did. And he's like, oh, he repped there. That's fantastic. I want to know that story.
I want to hear more stories about that, man, because there's probably like, you know, like big artists that were probably like present there as a kid. You know what I mean? Like maybe like Prince was there chilling as a youth and he got inspired. Like who knows? Like there's so many different stories. Like I'm so curious about that. Like who was in the audience and what that meant, you know? So
no doubt.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna be checking that out later, man. And that's what's up, yo. Big up.
Yeah, we will. We gotta tune in and get a little review of that happening in the next couple weeks. So yeah, everybody can check it out. And let me see
what you got, man.
I didn't quite get to. My bag is on the low down there, but like,
you got something handy?
Right, I got
a 1 2 1 2.
I don't know.
Fourth Pyramid. Yeah.
Homie, this is.
That's
Fourth
hilarious.
Pyramid, yeah, Fourth Pyramid is a great friend of mine. Well, we're not as close at all right now, but like, there's no reason that we would be enemies. But I got love for the dude. But he was actually, I don't know if he still is, but he's the DJ for, oh my God, the dude Jazz Cartier. He's Jazz Cartier's DJ.
Say word. So that,
yeah.
And you know what's funny? I was actually going to pull up a clip because I was looking at some old manifesto footage, and I have this clip, this interview that I have on Sunreal from Vancouver and Fourth Pyramid.
Oh
so
shit!
Like,
really?
Together? They perform together. This is like Manifesto 2011.
What?
So I was literally just looking at that today. So it's funny you bring up Fourth Pyramid. I was like, yo, whatever happened to this guy?
Yeah.
That's peace, yo. That's peace.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like Fourth Pyramid, I got love for the dude because he was always kind of misunderstood as an artist. Like he had an original voice. His voice was different. He was a producer. His beats were dope, but they were different. He got signed. He was on Def Jux. He was the first Canadian to be on Def Jux. And some people dissed this stuff, but it was dope. And I was like, yo, people just hated him because he was Canadian. But he did some solo stuff. He was a solo, but he was an MC. But he transitioned into being a producer, and his beats are really dope. And then he transitioned into being a DJ. And he was, last I heard, he was DJing for Jazz Cartier. And I saw them DJ at a North by Northeast maybe 3 years ago. Okay. And that's one of the last times I've seen the brother. So I just wish him well. I got his flyer around here from a show at Wrong Bar on Queen Street. And yeah, man.
Super.
Oh shit, man. You know, oh shit, look who's on there. Well, you can't really see it.
You might have to read it. It's kind of blurry right now, B.
With guest production by
just read it.
Ben Stevenson, Grand Theft, and Rich Kid.
Hey, shout out Rich Kid, man. Rich Kid's going to be a feature real soon. You know what I mean? We're going to be getting him in hopefully for next week, man. Going to really bring it back, man, because he has some really cool history, man. He kind of represents that new generation that came up, you know what I mean, in the mid like 2000s and whatnot. and he's still at it, you know, doing a lot of community stuff and what have you, and a great producer, produced for a lot of incredible people, still doing his thing. So we're gonna get at him. I reached out to also Toolman, you know, was a part of a Tribe Called Red, but they go by another name right now, and they're gonna be on tour. But we're gonna be getting him real soon, and it's gonna be incredible. So we got some guests lined up. You know what I mean? Like I know we got Mishi Me in the works, you know, Maestro. So stay tuned, y'all. Stay tuned on the Reminisce Show, man. We got it coming through, man.
We do working on the dreams. But yo, brother, man. Besides that, you know, the rain's been coming on and off, but I've been going to the beach and enjoying the summer. We're almost halfway through July. It's a weird year, and you know, hopefully, I mean, actually, the way that global warming is going, it's probably going to be hot as hell in September and October. But like, you know, technically, for these 2 summer months, we're gonna live it up. You know, phase 3 is coming on Friday, so we get to go to movie theaters and go to 50% capacity. So we slowly start to experience society again.
That's good, man, because everything's going to be lining up. I know that manifesto is going to be, you know, coming out soon. I don't want to give away too much information, though, but, you know, you're going to see some stuff rolling out. So that's happening in September. And you know that the Reminisce Show will be all up in that, man. And, you know, so we will be able to bring you some real exclusive, man, some footage, some all that good stuff, man. So look out for Manifesto, man, in September, you know, at the City Drive-In, man. So that's what's up.
No doubt.
All right, man. So
yeah, that's about it.
Any last words, any piece, man? Shout out to everybody, you know, coming through. Kwame, man, Symbolic, man, Righteous, Sandy, everyone is always, you know, showing love and bigging us up, man. We got some big things in the works, man. Yo, you're gonna see me, you know, mentioning Manifesto a lot more, because, you know, a lot of things are in the works, man. The pot is stirring, you know what I mean? So look out for some big things, man. We got this, man. We're gonna you know, be rooted in you know, integrity, authenticity, and continue, man, to represent this culture, and always rooted in Sankofa. You know what I mean? Because it's not taboo to go back to collect what we may have forgotten. All right?
Not at all.
Boom, boom.
Love and peace.
That's what it is, man. So we're gonna see y'all, man. Till next time, man. Every Tuesday, man. Reminisce Show, man. Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. All right, man. Peace, y'all.
Peace, love y'all. Sandy, Kwame, Righteous. Love y'all. Peace, everyone.